Pace with control of this race. Here comes a run from Davey Hazard. He blocks the 10. Not going to be enough. Ryan Pace is going to win at Talladega.
Tauri trying to hold off Wilson. He's done a good job so far. Wilson, one last desperate attempt to the bottom. He won't get there. Nick Curry wins at Bristol.
Coming out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's in a class of his own right now.
Merzlak, one final time, get around the 55, big time send.
He hits the wall, he hits it, he gets the lead, but can he hang on to it? Oh my goodness, he made it to the line!
Big push down the backstretch is going to give him a good run through the corners.
So a little bit
Follow from the 1.
A little bit of contact there for second, but coming to the line, Toby Roberson's going to take home the checkered flag and victory here from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the United States Online Racing League AlphaTauri Cup Series here from the Iowa Speedway. Tonight, we're going to go for 125 laps here from the middle of Iowa. Hello, folks, I'm Joe, and alongside me tonight, as always, my trusty colleague, Mr. Ricky Collette.
Hi there, Joe. Glad to be back tonight. Gonna have some fun racing here at Iowa. Start of the chase. Should be a crazy night here at USORL.
Start of the chase is going to be an interesting one, folks. Let's pull up those points. Coming into tonight after the reset last week, you saw Sean Whitehill barely beating out Zach Webster to get that final spot off of fuel strategy. No matter, he's now 11th in points. Jeff Dixon, Antonio Ruiz, and DJ Harris, too. Ruiz and Dixon with wins this year. But Ricky, the 4 wild cards all set, have their points reset to 0 for these 14 chase drivers.
Yeah, a little bit of a saving grace for those wild cards. All of them kind of came in on the skin of their teeth. Very close on getting in, as we watched last week. Very close points battle with that. Now they got a little breathing room tonight, a little bit of a reset. That's the only saving grace they're going to have for the rest of the season, though. So now it's the time that they really got to capitalize and make sure that they don't go back into a hole.
And they're 27 points out of the points lead. That points leader, of course, is last week's winner, Davey Hazard. Took home the regular season championship and comes into the night with 27 points and a double-digit point lead, 12 points over the other guy that we've kind of labeled as one of our big contenders, Tommy Bordeaux.
Yeah, and we'll see how this translates out into the race in terms of how these guys do tonight. Hearing some rumblings, they were throwing a lot of stuff at that 75 car during practice. I think they got a fast machine here, but they were trying some stuff, trying to get a handle on this track. And you know, obviously with qualifying, Davey usually doesn't take the time in qualifying, just on principle. So it'll be a little bit before I can see how that 75 is going to be working tonight. But Tommy Bordeaux, could be a good night for him to try to leapfrog Davey if he can grab a few points in there in that point shuffle.
For sure, got to gain some points on Hazard in that 75, and you see there Huang Do, Cam Barnes, Darren Ingram, Garrett Sidner, Zach Krastowski, Noah Joyce, and Mikey Murata all getting some of those bonus points here for the chase. Your 3rd through 10th place drivers, folks. We are currently in happy hour. So it's everyone's favorite time of the night. Ricky, take us through tonight's starting lineup.
All right, with pleasure, Joe. For tonight's race here at the Iowa Speedway, tonight there will be 20 cars starting this event. And on pole, a time of 23.143 seconds is going to be the 3-car of Darren Ingram. Joining him in the front row will be the 1 machine of Steven Merzlak. Jeff Dixon in the 14 will start from the 3rd spot. Tyler Mallon in the 80 will start from the 4th position. And the last car in the top 5 will be Huang Do in the 01 car. Antonio Ruiz riding around that 11 car. He'll be starting for the 6th spot. And Cal Laval in the 7, naturally going to be starting 7th tonight. Noah Joyce in the 31 starts from the 8th position. And Zach Webster in the 95 starts from 9th. Last car in the top 10 tonight going to be Mikey Murata in that 8 car. And then Austin Spencer in the 13 machine will be starting 11th. Starting in 12th, second in points here, Tommy Bordeaux. took a time while Davey Hazard didn't, so he'll be starting ahead of him tonight. 13th spot goes to the 4 car, Zach Krastowski. 14th spot, Henrietta Bordeaux in the 00, and Ryan Pace, the 15 car, starting 15th. 16th goes to the 9 car of Jesse Dalton. That will be the last car to take a time in qualifying. Rounding out the remainder of the field, Davey Hazard in the 17th spot in the 75. 18th spot goes to Garrett Sidner in the 16. 19th spot goes to Cam Barnes of the 12 car. Rounding out the field tonight is going to be Sean Whitehill in the 45 Toyota. And that's going to be our starting lineup for tonight's race at Iowa, Joe. And I'm noticing there were very close lap times there throughout the entire spread of qualifying, which is pretty par for the course for Iowa. It's very hard to get any advantage here. It's very much a game of even a tenth a lap is going to gain you a ton of ground at this place.
And it's 125 laps tonight, which is kind of a lot, but also not a lot for Iowa, right? We're under a mile here at this track, so a relatively short race, usually running about 200 miles here in these USORL events. So only under 125 miles tonight. Going to be an interesting one for sure. Folks, can't thank you enough, as always, for tuning in. Make sure, if you haven't already, drop a like on the video and subscribe. It does so much to help support not only us here at JTN, but the boys here at the USORL. Show them some love. Again, this was your Circle B Diecast race preview. Remember to use code JTN to check out for free shipping on your order of $30 or more. Dave Burt writes in, how do I join the USORL? Well, right now the USORL is not taking new applicants. It's an invite-only league, so you have to know someone kind of on the inside at the moment to get invited to come join the United States Online Racing League. Also see Marcus Cager and Tiny tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're having a fantastic Saturday night. Good truck race tonight. Kind of led us right into this USORL Cup Series race. Going to be a fun one again. There's Sean Whitehill in that 45. We talked about him a little bit. Antonio Ruiz. If you watch that video from our friends over at Fast 29, Chris Pickett did an amazing job of taking you through all of the big stories here going into the chase here in 2022 for Season 8. And Ricky, one of the guys that he labeled as a dark horse, a guy that's kind of the sentimental favorite, is this 11 car, this Wyndham Rewards Chevrolet of Antonio Ruiz.
Yeah, Antonio Ruiz has been having a fantastic season. So naturally, I think it's a good call to be saying that he's going to be a dark horse in this. Been strong every week in, week out, been consistent. I would say keep your eyes to that 11 car to see how the season progresses for him. A few interesting stories here, just looking through who's coming up through the chase. I mean, a few months ago, we didn't think that the 15 of Ryan Pace would be running a full season, let alone competing for the chase with 2 or 3 wins. So a few guys have kind of risen to the occasion this year to make sure that they are firmly in this playoff picture. They don't call it playoffs here; they call it chase. So
it's
we're
okay.
We're doing that all night. Ring the bell every time I say playoffs and not chase.
It was play-oofs last year. It's been play-oofs for a couple years now. But back to the chase format. So these next 10 weeks, you're going to be watching races here on JTN, over on Fast 29. Chris and Dan going to have the call for the majority of these chase races, I do believe. I think we have 3 or 4 of them, and they have the other 5 or 6. But this chase, it's going to come down to the wire at Homestead at the end of July, last Saturday night of July. So we know this chase is going to be tough. It's hard fought every year. And this year, no different. See Cam Barnes there in the 12. He's kind of looking for a good run tonight. Had a disastrous finish to the Michigan race last week. Involved in an incident with his teammate who was battling to make his way into the chase. Kind of took him out of contention. No late caution. So an interesting Michigan for the 12 team from EV Racing. But they're kind of looking to hit that reset button, it feels like, after last week's race.
Yeah, and this is the best time to do it. Like we said, points reset kind of puts, not on the same footing. Obviously, there's some points here and there that factor in. But it gets you in a much more comfortable spot, at least for the first race here. It's just now he can't make a slip up. He's got to start capitalizing on this now, while the point spread is small.
Well, there's another driver up ahead, Darren Ingram in that 3 Verizon Wireless Chevrolet here tonight. Darren's another guy that it feels like it's been a disappointing season for this 3 team. Of course, going to be making the switch over to primetime racing next year. Him as well as Noah Joyce going to move over from OJR to PTR. But for Darren, I think it's trying to go for one championship here with these boys at OJR because they've given him a lot of hot rods, but just hasn't been able to close out the races this year as he has in past seasons.
Yeah, it's been a rough run, and you know it's always tough too when you're going over to a new team. It almost does kind of feel like you kind of put yourself in a lame duck season if you're not careful about it, because you know you're going to greener pastures by the end of the season. But I think Darren definitely wants to end the season on a high note with these guys, and hopefully they start with tonight, starting on pole here. So that 3 car's fast, and that's going to mean a lot. Like we said, very close lap times here. Any little edge that you can get on anyone else on setup is going to mean a world of difference tonight.
Yeah, we can't find another chase driver. There's Garrett Sidner in the 16, another guy that it feels like, Ricky.
Blasphemous. Blasphemy. It's a Toyota. It's got Roush numbers. That's blasphemy.
I believe
That's blasphemy, Joe.
I mean, he ran that Ford for a long time. 2 wins on the year, but just not the consistency. Came into the chase, 10th in points. Obviously gets the bump from the wins in those standings. But for Sidner, I think it's trying to find that consistency that we've kind of known the 16 team for over the last, the course of the last couple seasons we've been here in the USORL.
Yeah, and it's so hard to get that rhythm back. Even when you're putting up wins, you want to have that consistency too. And sometimes you just get into a beat, where it's just like, for some reason, things just don't come together, and it happens quite constantly. And unfortunately, it seems it's happened a few times for Garrett this year. Had, like you said, great runs, had some wins here, so definitely plenty to hang high about already. But to have a shot at this championship, that 16 team is going to have to start being able to string just good finish after good finish, because you know that every single guy in this points picture is going to be bringing their A game out here.
Mark Bancroft tuning in. How is your night or day wherever you are? My night's going pretty well. It's a late night with the USORL, but Mark, we're wondering how you're doing out there. Hopefully you're having a good time. Going to sit back, relax, watch a good race here. And of course, Dan Asher from Fast 29 tuning in, picking Tyler to play spoiler here tonight from Iowa in that 80. Everybody's a Mellon Man fan, and none other than Tyler Mellon going to be going to play upset here tonight, going to play that upset role.
Joe, you just say Tyler Mellon. I think that's a good call. One I would take a swing at is this one car, Steven Merzlak here. Start on the outside pole, Darren Ingram. Very, very close lap times between first, second place in terms of qualifying time. Only a couple of tenths between the two, a couple of hundredths between the two of them. So Merzlak's got quite a fast Toyota here, but putting up fast times and happy hour as well. I think that one machine, that Menards car, is going to be a factor tonight.
I think that's a good call, too. What we've seen from Steven Merzlak in this one car here in the USORL, though, it seems like they can't get the race to go without something going awry, whether it be early on, late in the race. No, Steven's been very frustrated this season in that one team with Apex Motorsports, but just another driver that really feels like they're just looking to get a run and get a good run tonight. Maybe not just a run, but I could be a little more descriptive, Yeah,
a little word from in chat. Tyler Mellon saying I need a long run, so that's
well, Tyler.
After that, because
Tyler, here's a good thing. Last year we only had one caution in this race. Granted, it came with 25 laps to go, but we did only have one caution last year. So, You
never know.
Throwing that one out there. It's always weird with these USORL races, because like last week at Michigan, I think we had 3, 4, 5 cautions, right? Pretty evenly spread out, although we had that long green flag run to the end. It always seems when we come to these high tire wear tracks like Iowa is, everyone knows these tires are going to be falling off these cars by the end of it. I don't know if the drivers maybe run a little bit easier or more careful, Ricky. I mean, you can comment on this. You've been out there on track with them this year. Or if it's just that the track really makes them, they're more so racing the track. Like, why do you think that is when we come to these high tire wear tracks? These drivers have difficulty with throwing that bright yellow flag.
Oh, just these high tire wear tracks. You're just trying to baby that thing around here. You know that it's going to be loose. You know that's going to be unwieldy. And you're really just tiptoeing around this place with it. And I think everyone's a little extra careful. But I think it makes for really fun racing because no one can really get an edge on each other because no one wants to step over that boundary.
How tonight, if you're one of these I almost did it. If you're one of these chase drivers, if you're Davey Hazard, right? And we were talking with Davey down in the garage area. He's really kind of in the mindset. Everyone's tied at 0. We're all tied here, starting off this chase. But if you're a driver that maybe has a couple points, maybe are you playing around here early on in the chase, knowing that it's a long time before we're heading to Homestead to crown a champion?
I mean, I don't know if you want to play around at any point in this. These chase spreads are always so wide open that you really just want to, you want to be completely direct and to the point. You want to win. You want to be up front, and you don't want to try anything crazy until you absolutely need to. Got everyone spread out on pit road here, just waiting for that command to start.
They're actually
engines.
on the back stretch.
That is true. They are on the backstretch.
No full pace lap tonight. Well, Darren Ingram going to be looking for a hot start here in the Season 8 chase. He's on pole with Steven Merzlak to the outside. Then it's Jeff Dixon in the 14 and Tyler Mallon. So 2 non-chase drivers with 2 chase drivers on the front row. Wong Do and Antonio Ruiz making up row number 3. Cal Lovell, Noah Joyce, Zach Webster, and Mikey Murata, your top 10 here to start. Here we go, down into the start zone, fans on their feet, green flag, and we're underway here in the Season 8 chase.
They come down to turn 1 here. You see Steven Merzlak get a good run here in the middle of the corner, but then Darren Ingram gets a great drive off. They're still side by side here, coming down to turn number 3.
And we know there's a lot of bumps down there at the bottom side of the racetrack, especially on entry. So Darren did a good job that time, not getting too bogged down. Going to clear the one off the corner. Going to give him a little fade down the front straightaway. Give that first lap to Darren Ingram as now Steven Merzlak looks to the inside in the 1.
Merzlak trying to get that power down side by side down the back straightaway again here. Looks like we're slowing down, Joe. Looks like we're under caution. Tommy Bordeaux up in the wall. 95 Zach Webster, a lot of damage. Henrietta Bordeaux around. 9-car Dalton.
Looked too bad on the 57, able to limp away. Really, 95 looks to have gotten the worst of it. I don't know, this might be,
Looks like Austin Spencer, the 13, just gets into the back of the 95 a little bit. Just different entry points there.
And that's a reset. Cool.
And that's a reset, because I believe that's a lap 1 incident, so usually they'll... should have mentioned that. USORL usually has a procedure. If there's an incident of 2 cars or more, whatever constitutes a caution on that first lap, they'll run a quick restart.
I'm having so much fun.
Everyone gets a mulligan.
Davey already knows. Everybody gets a mulligan.
Alright, I want to forget what just happened. None of that was real. None of that mattered. None of it matters.
That was a dream.
It don't matter.
That was a dream.
It was all a dream.
It was a different universe.
Steven Merzlak never got the lead. It was all not real.
It was all a dream.
It was fictitious.
Well, actually, he did never get the lead.
He didn't get the lead?
He never did get the lead. All right, getting ready to go racing here from Iowa to kick off. All the energy sucked out of my lungs now. I was like ready to call that, and here we are, getting ready to go back racing here. Everyone got the backup cars out. Darren Ingram with control. Green flag. We're underway here from Iowa.
Ingram got a pretty good jump, but Merzlak already coming back with a ton of momentum here. They come into turn number 1. Darren Ingram has the lead here. Steven Merzlak can get a run on the high line.
And Tyler Mallon clears Jeff Dixon down into turn 1. Important move there for the driver of the number 80.
You just see that one car can get down on the bottom so much better than 3 and 4 there. Had his left side tires right down on the paint. Merzlak gets his notes the inside of that 3. Darren Ingram, but doesn't have enough just yet. 18 gets into the wall, or 14. Jeff Dixon gets into the wall here, coming down the back straightaway. Joe, 14 has some issues.
He's having some of those warp issues that are all too prevalent for that 14 team. Have been trying to work that out all season long, and now it's Wong Do trying to find a way around Jeff Dixon.
Wong Do trying to get on by Jeff Dixon here. Everyone trying to let Jeff Dixon just letting everyone on by. Gonna try to kind of nurse. Yeah, good move this early in the race. Just nurse it, let it settle itself out, and then make a charge again when you know that it's gonna be running well.
Tommy Bordeaux making the pass there on Antonio Ruiz, one of the big movers here in these first couple laps. Davey Hazard, you see in that red and white Martini Toyota further on back, also making up some positions. Ruiz going to charge back here on the inside for the position.
11 gets the inside of 57,
Oh,
washes
no,
all
he's
the way up
loose.
midway through the turn, kicks out that rear end.
That was a good
Davey
save.
Hazard shooting around the outside. Zach Rostowski tried to get around the 11, doesn't happen, so Ruiz does a good job of stemming the bleeding there, but Davey Hazard powers on by him. He's going to make a charge at Tommy Bordeaux, right to the inside of Bordeaux, side by side down the straightaway.
Hazard on the inside, Bordeaux on the outside. Davey was using that outer lane now to the bottom, going to complete the pass there on Tommy.
A little further up, Joe. 3rd spot. Tyler Mallon, Huang Do have been kind of going at it for the last few laps here. Huang Do right down on that apron, but Mallon powers back on the middle line. Tyler Mallon gets away, and he's got the 3rd spot all locked up.
Well, that's a couple fan favorites there in the 80 and 01 battling, or at least some YouTube fan favorites or Twitter fan favorites. I don't know what you call them. They're fan favorites battling for that 3rd position. I think Doe probably wants it a little bit more right now. Mallon only out here for a victory and a trophy. We're working lap 7 now here, Ricky, and granted that's probably, you know, maybe a 5th of a way into a run, but what are you starting to learn about your car right now? Like, are you starting to make notes of what adjustments you might want now that you've gotten traffic around you, gotten some serious practice in these first 10 laps?
Yeah, you're definitely making notes of how people are racing around here. A little further back as we're talking about this. Tyler Mallon, Steven Merzlak side by side for 2nd. So it looks like Merzlak's car is starting to drop off a little bit. I was actually about to talk about that, Joe. Is short run versus long run, really high wear track tonight. So that's going to mean a lot. We heard Tyler Mallon talk about it at the start of the show when we were in practice, that if he could get a long run car, he was going to be fast. If he could get a long run going, he was going to be fast tonight. And you already see starting to pay off for him tonight. But I think the one thing everyone's figuring out is how to race this track again. They are kicking it out here, Joe. It almost looks like a dirt track the way these cars are hanging around in the turns, jumping over these bumps. Almost looks like Bristol a few weeks ago in the Cup Series.
Start driving on that right rear a little bit here as the run goes on, right?
Exactly.
Joyce now heating up the back bumper of Steven Merzlak, and this is what we talked about. This is kind of where this one team has gone away in these races. It's how they've dealt with adversity that has really been the defining characteristic of their season compared to those of old, is how this one team will deal with falling back here early, knowing Steven gonna be able to make the adjustments that need to be done to that car, but it's all about keeping your cool right now. It's okay to lose a couple positions in the grand scheme of the cosmos early on here in Iowa.
Joe, the 01 Huang Do gets right on the back bumper of Tyler Mallon there exiting turn 4. We talked about Mallon as he makes a charge to the outside on Darren Ingram. Mallon having a fast car. Look at this 01 Huang Do. It just, you could tell he was getting held up by the 80 here for a second there. And Mallon's not, what Tyler Mallon's doing there in the 80s, no small potatoes. He's fast on track right now. Just Huang Do. That car is just coming to life right now. Noah Joyce, a whole 1/10 of a second faster than Huang Do, who was the fastest of these 3. So that 31 car also starting to come into the fray.
That's, again, what we talked about, long run versus short run speed. Apparently, the 31's starting to get some of that long run speed in. Further on back, you see Cal Laval to the inside of Steven Merzlak. Davey thinking about making it 3 wide for a second, but going to push his former teammate. There's a
Tyler
lot of
Mallon
racing
looking
going
up the
on.
outside of that 3. Yeah. Mallon's right at the back bumper. The 3, Darren Ingram. We see if he tries to go around him. Ingram trying to defend that inside, so Mallon trying to go for the outside. Oh, they're close there, coming down into turn number 1.
And we know Darren's not afraid to, you know, throw the block with that 3 car. We've seen it this season. We've seen it in the past. Darren, one of the more aggressive guys, trying to keep you behind him. But when push comes to shove, Tyler Mallon usually doesn't take that crap. So another little wrinkle in this battle for the lead early on here. How much does Darren start to push the issue? He's getting the run off the corner by running that outer line. You see further on back, Davey Hazard now to the inside of Noah Joyce, going to work his way up into 4th.
Yeah, Joe, it looks like 31. Joyce actually just slipped up there, and it looks like we're actually under caution.
Under caution for
the 8 of Mikey Murata. A lot of damage on that Dodge Challenger.
Oh, no.
Oh, Jeff Dixon gets involved in this too, Joe. There's a flip in this.
There's a flip in this?
Yeah, there's a little kick flip.
Oh, man. This one starts off with Jeff Dixon and Zach Krastowski, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't really look like... It looks like Dixon just gets a little too low in the turn, trying to get to the inside of Zach. He gets on the apron, the car upsets, goes sideways, and then that old NR 2003 hitbox, Mikey Murata gets sucked into the 14 and just explodes the car with damage. Like, the entire hood's destroyed. Well, not the hood, the sides are destroyed, the top of it's destroyed. Let's see if they can pull that back out in the 8, but you gotta think that that 8 car, Mikey Murata's hurt.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate.
And I would appear to have a good old-fashioned game crash.
Old-fashioned all-American game crash.
Gotta love it. A game freeze. That's new. Alright, let's fix this.
Go under caution here, Joe. On the cycle of pit stops, Tommy Bordeaux actually stayed out. We'll see if Tommy comes down this time. I would imagine he did that to get the lap led, but we'll see. Davey Hazard with a big jump on pit road here. Got up to 2nd place past all these guys. Tommy Bordeaux now coming down. So I think Tommy just wanted to get that lap just to get some points on the board. But Davey Hazard, big gain on pit road there.
All right, folks, we're going to have to step away, but we'll be right back here on JTN. All right, Ricky, we're back with at least radio coverage of the race. Waiting for everything to kind of get reset there at the top of your screens, folks. Give us a second, but Ricky, race off pit lane. You said Tommy Bordeaux staying out, but then coming back down. Got the bonus point for the lap led, did the 57 team, but what are we looking like here for the restart?
Joe. Darren Ingram just getting the power down here, coming across the line for the green flag. Ingram got a big jump here. Davey Hazard trying to make a charge back, but he's got Tyler Mallon to his inside. Darren Ingram holding that lead, coming off turn number 1 and 2. Coming down the back straightaway, Ingram still hanging on to it. Mallon's starting to get that edge on Hazard for that 2nd spot.
See the picture restored. Ingram with the lead. Mallon there in 2nd, battling with Davey Hazard for the position.
Mallon and Davey Hazard still fighting for spots there. Tyler Mallon gets on by him here, but Davey Hazard charges back up. That's the thing I love about Iowa, though, Joe, is that it's very much a multi-group track. You can kind of make anywhere work as long as your car's got grip, but look at Huang Do, gets right to the inside. Davey Hazard going to take a 3 wide down the front straightaway here.
3 wide down the front. Mallon now looks to the inside of Ingram. Again, even tires here at the front of the field. Drag race down the back. Hazard thinking about making it 3 wide. Now, a few weeks ago at Bristol, it was these 3 drivers. Hazard running 3rd or 2nd at the time. Got in to Darren Ingram. Sent the 3 car into the outside wall. And right now, and then it came down to Mallon and Hazard. Not doing it this time, but something that I would have to believe Darren Ingram has in the memory bank.
That's for sure. Talk about this point situation right now. To tune everyone in, Mikey Murata running 13th right now. Got a big dent in the top of that Napa Auto Parts Dodge, but looks like they were able to fix most of that damage, so glad to see that. Looks like Mikey Murata going to live to fight another day here. But a little further up front, Noah Joyce getting underneath the one car of Steven Merzlak. This side-by-side coming down the front back straightaway, coming in turn 3 here. Joyce will make quick work of the one car, trying to set his sights on Huang Do there in 4th.
Cal Loveall now looking to the inside of Merzlak. You also have Ryan Pace up here in the fray. Cal going to complete the pass that time off of turn number 2. Now Pace to the inside of the one car. Going to be a race between those two, but up front it's Davey Hazard to the inside of Tyler Mallon.
Got car around in turn number 2. Zach Webster in the 95. The 9 at Dalton spins around to avoid him. Looks like
caution.
we stay green here, though, Joe. No, caution.
No caution is what I said.
Oh, no caution.
Yeah.
No caution. Okay.
No caution.
Well, as we're talking about that, Tyler Mallon gets the lead past Darren Ingram. Davey Hazard trying to make a charge at him. Ingram trying to defend some spots here. Is just getting freight trained on that outside line right now. Right behind those guys, Zach Krastowski gets around Steven Merzlak. That's for the 8th spot. The 16 is Sidner trying to get around Merzlak as well. Darren Ingram not giving up this 2nd spot easily, though, Joe. He's going to make sure that Davey is working for it here.
Yeah. He wants that spot back. Hazard going to hold on to it for now. Darren Ingram, of course, there in 3rd. Huang Do and Noah Joyce, your top 5. Tyler Mallon has extended the lead just a little bit, still within earshot of Hazard in the 75, and here comes Noah Joyce. This is about where we saw this 31 car start to get a little extra speed underneath that Cobalt Lowe's Chevrolet. I said that backwards, but nonetheless, it's still accurate.
Yeah, he got a lot of speed around this point in the run. You see Huang Do getting to the inside of Ingram. It just seemed like then he started to drop off again. I'm not exactly sure what had happened at that point, but you see the 7 of Cal Loveall getting to the inside of Noah, trying to make that pass where it's so hard to do that here because there's so many lanes that you could dive into the inside and the other guy on the outside is going to get a huge run on that high line and just kind of keep it dead even with you. So Cal Loveall slowly starting to pick off the 31 here. Looking back up front, though, Davey Hazard been running faster laps than Tyler Mallon last few times by. Just ran about a 10th quicker than Mallon last time by. Got that deficit down to 4 seconds, or 4/10 of a second. We'll see what it is when they hit the line here. They're running dead even times out there, Joe.
Funny how that works, huh?
It is funny how that works. A little further back, though, we got a bit of a Hornets nest here. Tommy Bordeaux in the 15th spot, Cam Barnes on 14th, 13th, Jeff Dixon, 12th of Mikey Murata, all side by side, racing each other very hard back here. All these guys chase contenders. All of them need to start picking up some points here.
All of them except for Austin Spencer also in this battle.
Yes.
But he's the hometown
Tommy Bordeaux
guy.
into the outside wall a little bit. Tommy gets it straightened out, keeps rolling, but that's going to hurt him a little bit as these guys take off away from that 57 machine.
Yeah, I'm a little puzzled by the speed right now of the 57 team.
13th Spencer gets into the wall there. You know, he might be... we heard that it was a little hard with trying to get a figure on the setup here tonight. I recall hearing some driver chatter before the race that Tommy was throwing a few ideas at the wall to see what would stick with the setup. Ended up going to the fast setup at some point.
That's usually not good.
I don't know what he ended up sticking with, but I think Tommy just kind of throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. It sounds crazy, but you know you've raced with him as well, Joe. This is not the first time he has done this, where he just goes with a random setup and then just somehow massages it all the way through the race and then makes it like actually
top
usable by the end of the event. Yeah, top 5 car. So keep it on that 57. I don't think that's going to be the end of the fight from him. But early struggles for that 57 team. As we're talking about that, up here, Huang Do has just been not letting Darren Ingram even get an inch away from him. That 0-1 has either been right behind or right to the inside of the 3 every single lap. Just can't get the edge to get past him, though.
See Garrett Sidner and Steven Merzlak getting by Ryan Pace here, further on back. Ryan's car is starting to struggle as this run has wore on. Oh, around
13
behind.
Austin Spencer around at the back, straight away here into the outside wall. That's a back end.
Into the inside wall goes Austin Spencer.
1 car spin, so that'll be no yellow. But that's a really tough break for Austin Spencer that there isn't a yellow for this. It's gonna have to come down pit road here. Gonna at least lose 2 laps.
No, they had a lot of fans here at the track tonight, so an unfortunate end for Austin Spencer and the 13 team.
That is for sure. Coming across the line. I don't think it's the end for him yet. It's going to be hard for him to make it back up.
Well,
he's going to need a ton of cautions to get those lucky dogs.
Yeah.
He didn't take too hard of a shot to the inside wall. It was all with the rear end. So I think they'll be able to fix that on pit road, to be totally honest. It's just, you know, can you get those 2 laps back anywhere? You're going to need some cautions. And right now, this is looking like a pretty green race. But you never know. We've already had 1 caution. So 1 more, and we're already beat last year's record of 1.
Yeah, if we get 1 more.
We get 1 more, it's basically a caution fest.
It's always a good thing when you hear...
Murata making a move to the inside of the 15 of Ryan Pace. Sorry, continue, Joe.
I was going to say, it's always a good thing when you hear 2 cautions is a caution fest for a race, for a track. You know, that's always a good thing.
For sure, for sure.
Jeff Dixon to the outside of Steven Merzlak for position. Dixon trying to work his way back up towards the front, qualified on row number 2, and just did not have the speed on that opening run, lost all the track position, washed high, had the internet issues, and now starting to climb back since things have kind of gotten singled out. Courteous move by the 14 car and driver to start this thing, but it's always a killer when you hear everyone yelling at you on the radio that your car's everywhere and you got to drop to the back.
Yeah, well, you know, Joe, Jeff Dixon's actually, just because his lap times are so close, it's taken a while for him to get back up. I've been watching his lap times. He's running stuff comparable with the leaders. It's just so difficult to make up any time on anyone. Lap times are so close together, and he's just been kind of fighting that. He's going to be fighting that for a while, unless he can get some cautions here to help him kind of leapfrog some guys. But as we were talking about lap times here, Davey Hazard gotten that gap down to 0.3 tenths of a second. Not 0.3 tenths, excuse me. 3/10 of a second on Tyler Mallon here. Looks like Hazard getting a good run coming down the front straightaway here. We'll see about 1/10 of a second faster than Mallon this time by. He's been pretty consistent about that the last few laps. I think Davey Hazard, that car definitely is a longer run car if I've ever seen it.
It feels like Mallon also had a long run car tonight, so we know Tyler was in chat.
Steven Merzlak just went for an absolute drift off of turn 2, Joe. Kept it off the wall. I don't know how he saved that.
Well, let's see how he saved it. Let's bet you that replay.
He just had a 4-wheel power slide there.
Yeah. Good job by Mikey not running him over.
I'm telling you, this place is a dirt track in disguise. Look how much he kicked that out there and it stayed straight.
And up on Jesse Dalton there. Oh, Merzlak
goes around to the front straightaway. I spoke too soon.
He's still rolling.
1 car spin. Yep, keeps it rolling. Good 360 spin. Keeps rolling. That's going to be tough, though. You got to think, if he had that first slide and then this is a second spin, then those rear tires have to be just absolutely butter right now.
Well, we know we can go about 50 laps on tires. We went back green around lap 20.
Oh, he is sideways again. In the 12 of Cam Barge. Oh, almost gets into the 1 there. This is where the bottom falls out for a lot of people, Joe. Right at the end of this tire run, these tires are really on that edge. Steven Merzlak's trying to baby that thing for all it's worth right now. Cam Barnes lost a ton of ground with that spin.
Get a replay of it. You see the 12 again, that 4-wheel drift. Barely misses the commitment cone for pit lane. Merzlak almost hits him. Surprised they didn't call a yellow for that one. Car around in the middle of the track.
It gets hard because in that situation, you don't think you're going to hit him, and then all of a sudden, he's right in the racing line.
Well, yeah,
and,
but...
It's also... if it passes, it's like, why would you call the yellow at that point? if no one called the yellow, it's like it gets caught in a weird spot where it's like, should we call the yellow at this point? Not.
Yeah,
We've seen wrecks here before that have been like that, where they just don't throw the yellow because they miss it by half a lap. Just the nature of the game.
It's odd. These manual cautions sometimes get a little weird with single car spins, you know, because sometimes they'll throw a yellow if a guy's around in the middle of the track. Sometimes they won't. That kind of felt like one of those times that they should have, if you know what I'm saying. Catch my drift? But
yeah.
no one also wants to claim a caution, right? Like that's the kind of the tricky line that I do not. Zach Krastowski and Noah Joyce and I believe Garrett Sidner, a bunch of the admins here. I do not envy that position.
I agree with that.
Be the one.
I agree with that.
Be the one to tell the drivers, hey, you got to call your yellows, but also if you cause two of them, you're donezo for the night.
As we're watching these guys up here, though, Joe, I've noticed Tyler Mallon actually starting to spread out that lead a little bit on Davey Hazard. Just looks like it's starting to spin back around. Mallon's car is actually starting to pick up on Hazard again. He's starting to expand that gap. Davey's still trying to stay. Davey's still close in lap times here. It's just he started losing some ground and couldn't really pick it back up.
Hazard kind of starting to run a little higher line too, I've noticed.
He might be experimenting with that line a little bit too, just to see if there's anything up there.
I mean, if you haven't found it now, though, right? I mean,
well, you never know. You never know.
How much of a swing do you make at this car on this stop coming up?
Well, it depends on who you are. If you're someone like Steven Merzlak or Cam Barnes or one of these guys that's had the rear end step out of Austin Spencer when he came down pit road. If you're one of these guys that had the rear end completely step out on you just on random, you're probably gonna have to make a pretty big track bar swing at it this time by. If you're one of these guys up front, Tyler Mallon, Davey Hazard, Darren Ingram, Huang Do, Cal Laval, I would almost say you don't really want to fiddle with it too much.
You see Steven Merzlak right now on your screen. He is just holding on to that car.
He is.
Just holding on to it. Too many flies to swat in there. Yeah, take it out. I think I would have. Yeah. We're out here in Iowa, right? Merzlak around. Oh my goodness.
Around on that front straightaway by himself, so he stayed green still. Those rear tires have to be gone on that one car, though, at this point.
Yeah, it's got to be done. He's getting
back through this.
Loose down there on the apron.
Ooh, Noah Joyce just grabbed the wall there coming off of turn 2. Keeps it straight, but he took a big handful of wall there coming off.
Merzlak has parked the one car. John, don't encourage the robots, please.
Don't encourage the robots. They gain sentience, they'll destroy us all. 16 to Garrett Sidner to the inside of the 31, and Noah Joyce. Oh, this is for that 6th spot. Sidner makes quick work of Noah here. I think Noah's car is starting to go away a little bit. That rear end was kicked out when he got the wall earlier.
Again, 40 laps into a run. This is where it seems like everyone's lost the rear tires. They're no longer hooking up, coming off the corners.
Tyler Mallon trying to track down this 12 of Cam Barnes to put him a lap down. That's a points guy. Everyone else on track would... Everyone in the chase right now would probably want to see that car go a lap down because that's going to help them in the points picture. I don't think Mallon really cares, but Tyler Mallon wants to win this race, so he's got to pass him quick.
Welcome in, Corwin.
Tyler Mallon still got the lead here.
Tyler Mallon's got the lead. Davey Hazard sitting in there in second, and we here at JTN have a bunch of great races coming up for you. Presented by our friends at TWB Technologies. Tomorrow night, it's the Mondays of Thunder Truck Series. It's a Sunday night, but it's Mondays of Thunder from Michigan, 9 p.m. Eastern Time start for that one. Then it's the ISRL Contender Cup Series from the Banked Indianapolis Motor Speedway Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Then the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series returns to the Texas Motor Speedway, everyone's favorite over there at BSR, on Thursday night, 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Those are your next 3 races right here live only on JTN.
Darren Ingram coming down pit road right now. Noah Joyce, Tommy Bordeaux. We're starting to see some takers. The 95 is Zach Webster is blowing up, Joe.
Blowed up. Saw Tyler Mallon really loose that time off of turn number 2. Still, these drivers, my goodness.
Antonio Ruiz now coming on down pit road.
And you can just see, like, if you watch Davey there, I mean, he was just left, right, left, right, left, right with the wheel off the corner. I mean, like you said, they are dirt tracking it right now on these tires.
Which is fun.
I don't have fun doing that, if I have to be honest.
And I'll watch this, because Darren Ingram's going to have a second faster lap time than anyone out here when he comes back out. Mikey Murata now coming down on pit road.
You know, Joyce Tommy Bordeaux off the pit lane. It's going to kind of leave the 80 stuck on the outside. Hopefully they weren't planning to come to pit road that time. Longdo still out there as well in the 0-1. Yeah, Mint H, I appreciate it. That's right. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the race coverage. If you're not enjoying the race coverage, keep watching, because maybe you'll enjoy it by the end of the thing.
Tommy Bordeaux gets the inside of the 31 there, makes that move, so Bordeaux leapfrogs him. 7 of Cal Loval coming down pit road, but our leaders, Tyler Mallon, Davey Hazard, still staying out. Joe, what do you think that their game planning is here? Do you think they're going to long pit it to see if they can minimize their fuel window?
They're fast enough. That's the thing. If you got a fast car, you can kind of sacrifice the short pit. The ground that you give up to those drivers that short pit, you can sacrifice it a little bit. I mean, right now, Tyler Mallon, absolutely loose off the corner, no grip. Davey Hazard's the same way. I mean, you're going to see the difference here. Mikey Murata is running just outside the top 10, of course, has massive damage. You can see it on the roof of that car still. It's kind of hard for the crew to fix it, but look at how much quicker he is.
Yeah, Mikey's actually just had pretty good speed. The roof damage isn't really slowing him down as much as you'd think. He was holding pretty good in like 12th or 13th.
Yeah, it wasn't like a dig like he didn't have any speed, but, you know, running back at the top 10 compared to the guys that have been up front all night and kind of, you know what I mean? Like, that's just the difference the new tires are making. It's a good illustration of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, Ricky. We stand Mikey Murata in this household.
Tyler Mallon still leading here. Coming across the line, running 24.38 second lap there, which is an exact second off of what he ran for his fastest lap at the start of this race.
Oh, Mallon!
Oh, gets really loose off of turn 2 there.
Yeah, I think I'd be at the point where I'm punting it. I'm coming to pit lane.
Yeah, he's going to pit lane. He's like, all right, I'm done. Look at the chat. Steven Merzlak checking in, saying I had to park it. That thing was evil. At 14, Jeff Dixon is sideways and around on the front straightaway here, Joe. We'll see if this is a caution or if this is still green. I don't see any calls for caution, so I think we stay green.
Dixon limping away.
This is big for Jeff Dixon because he definitely has a flat tire.
Yeah. That is a hazard on track right now. And no, it's not Davey. Haha, joke funny. So Ryan Pace going to go to that's dangerous. Go to the outside of the driver without a tire.
Tyler Mallon coming back off pit road here for Krastowski down. Henry Bordeaux was down on pit road that time. Davey Hazard still just trucking around out here. Davey is taking those tires as far as they're going to carry him before he comes down to pit road. You got to commend that.
Long Joe, the 0-1 came down the pit lane already, or no? Because he's been tracking Davey. Going to go by.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Davey...
Or is that
Davey's
a pass for the lead?
Actually clutching. Davey Hazard's actually clutching.
He's fuel saving. Because it's close.
Long Joe coming down pit road. This is going to be close then, I think.
He's trying to one-stop it to the end.
70 laps, 125 left in the race, 71 right now. How much does that actually leave us, Joe?
Running to 125 tonight, right? It's Crunchyroll 125.
Doing the big old number Crunchyroll, 54 laps. So, I mean, can he do it?
Yeah, I mean, he's running 51 right now.
I think in that case he might be able to. We'll have to keep an eye out. Davey Hazard trying something wild here. Obviously, he's gonna. Yeah, obviously, Joe. We're gonna talk about this. I was like, oh, you just want to be careful, stay in your lane, yada 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 yada. Davey Hazard taking this to the absolute ragged limit here. He is gonna try to save as much as he can here before he comes down pit road. Finally tagging out on it. He's gonna come down on pit road on lap 73. Now the funny thing is though, when he comes off, he is gonna have so much speed on these guys.
Yeah, but how does he use it? Does he go back to the save mode, or, you know, that's the thing we're watching here.
Well, the thing is,
gonna have to make sure he's on the lead lap, right? Like that's the big thing. You got to stay on the lead lap because he lost a lot of time.
The thing is, him and Wang Do stayed out very late there. He stayed out later than anyone though. He could probably, he'll probably definitely save.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a lot of these guys, it's almost like no question that they're going to have to come back down pit road again.
Right. Back to the battle for the lead here as we ponder the existence of enough fuel to get the 75 across the line. Tyler Mallon. Back to the lead, or is it Cal in the 7?
I'll tell you when it cycles through. Now, Ryan Pace is registered second. I'm not sure who's registered as a leader. Right now, Garrett Sidner in first is
okay, so
leading this.
16,
Jeff
15.
Dixon gets loose.
I don't love pit cycles, man. Yeah, Sidner still doesn't
Garrett
pit.
Sidner to the outside wall.
I think that just
Garrett
proved he
Sidner
hasn't
also
pit yet.
tried something crazy here. All these guys have fast tires, though. All of them have fresh tires. They got to be careful here.
Oh, no. He's
this
moving
is a
chicane.
madhouse.
He has a chicane right now.
Davey Hazard doesn't want to see this either because he wants all these guys to stay green. His strategy works if this stays green.
Well, the strategy for the 16 works if this stays green. The 15 as well. I mean, both of them staying out long.
We'll see. You know, the 15 is Sean Whitehill down pit road, Ryan Pace down pit road, Cam Barnes. You know...
Okay, here comes Sidner. Austin, contact! No!
Austin Spencer around on the entry of pit road.
We're still green, right? We're not going to call a caution for that, right?
Oh, still green here.
Okay, good, because that would be bad. That's one I wouldn't agree with.
Right around you, though. Davey Hazard did a lot of tire saving there. He got a good fuel mileage win a few weeks ago. But, his teammate there, 15, Ryan Pace, we talked about, or last week.
There you go.
His teammate there, Ryan Pace, that 15 car, is the master of saving fuel, of a sane fuel strategy. We talked about this before. You got to think Ryan's in his ear right now being like, hey, I'm doing this. Try saving. You might be able to make it.
But Ryan also a lap down right now to the leader, so he lost a lap in that whole shebang.
Yeah, but now he's got those 4 Mr. Feelgoods. He's going to have a lot of fresh rubber on these guys, and they're all going to have to pit again.
True.
And Joe, the other thing that we haven't really discussed, we saw how hard these guys fell off over a run when those tires wore in. Now these guys have pitted earlier than Davey. The tires are going to wear in quicker. Even if they try to make it to the end, they can't really come down pit road and only take like 2 tires. These guys were wrecking loose, and the reason why some of these guys pitted early was because they were that wrecking loose, and now they're going to have to bear with that again, except Davey Hazard going to be able to go to the end, possibly to the end of this.
Yeah, Hazard right now 17 seconds back. He's in 10th, so he came down the pit lane when that cycle started. He was running second, gives up a bunch of time, falls back to the 10th place position. Huang Do also doing going to try to do the one stop, running 4th. I do
Technically,
worry.
when this all shuffles through, if this all hypothetically shuffled through, Huang Do would be the first one on that strategy in line with Davey Hazard in second.
And it's by a pretty wide margin, which worries me. Right? I mean, you saw guys like Ryan Pace, Garrett Sidner, they stayed out a lot longer than even Hazard. So that's kind of, it's going to be close, because your fuel mileage, too, the number it's given you as the run progresses on, right? You're running slower times, and the way that counter works, folks, it's taking your lap time, and it's kind of calculated, then taking that lap time and correlating it to how much fuel you used on that lap. Whatever, 0.1, 0.2, probably more like 0.6 or 7 gallons. And that's what that correlation is doing with that lap time. That's how you figure out how much fuel you use. So those lap times, by slowing down, the game was telling you, oh, well, you got more fuel in the car now that you're running a slower pace. You're not going to be running that slow pace when this run started. So Trying to go as long as you can was the move. It's going to be close for the 0-1, but definitely the first of the one-stop cars is Wang Do.
Joe, I don't want to interrupt you there, but the 31, the 57 just both consecutively hit the wall and be like 2 or 3 times there in the last lap.
You should have interrupted me for that.
Tommy smacked it coming on the back straightaway, and then the 31, the 57 both went into the wall in the front straightaway. Davey Hazard actually gets by them and the 11 of Antonio Ruiz, so Hazard leapfrogs a bunch of these guys. These were all for position.
Right.
This is where Hazard's fresh tires are going to start to factor in on these guys. But you see that 57 is still not handling great. The 31's got a few little gremlins, it looks like, at the moment. But
back up front,
through all of this, Cal Laval is leading.
Cal Laval is leading. First to come down the pit lane, so short pitting. Vaults that car to the lead, but now going to have to let the 16 and 12 on by. Those aren't for position, but this one is. Here comes Tyler Mallon, the 80 Intel Toyota.
Allen's got to be careful about this coming down the front straightaway, that they don't get too close together. These guys are really close up front that are out on that fresh rubber. You don't want to get into too big of a kerfuffle here and have a little big mess, but there goes Tyler Mallon right on by. Almost gets into the back of the 12, though. That's going to let the 7 get right back to the inside. They're going to be side by side here coming off the turn 4.
Love all on the bottom. Going to barely lose out on leading that lap. Give it to Mallon. See if the 7, again, it's so hard to make that shallow entry down into turns 1 and 2. So many bumps down there on the bottom of the track. Gotta do your best to avoid those. Ryan Pace drawing closer, trying to get the lap back the hard way. Zach Krastowski looking like he's going to go a lap down there in that 4 car. Krastowski, another one of those guys that's always just very consistent. Parlays that consistency into a chase berth. Got his first win this year at Anchorage. So it's been a career year for the 4 team in terms of the W column, but I know they're wanting more, looking for a little more consistency that they had last year that got them to that Elite 8.
They're riding around out here right now. Tyler Mallon leading. Cal Laval still in that second spot. There goes Ryan Pace on by Lovell. He is on that pit cycle. We talked about it. He's a lap down right now, trying to unlap himself to get back in the lead lap. You see the 12 still side by side with Tyler Mallon up front. But right behind them, a bunch of guys. But Darren Ingram way far back on these guys. Just going through the turn 3 right now as these guys are coming on the front straightaway. So Darren a little further back, just the way that this pit cycle falls. I think he's putting up faster times, though. So we'll see where that all falls into place. But
Darren pit before those guys.
Did he?
Yeah, Darren pit before Tyler.
Oh, yeah, right.
And he pit before Huang, and he pit before Davey. Davey's catching the 0-1 right now.
It might have been the name of the game was that these guys were stuck in traffic and it was helping them get some lap time.
That could be it.
Could be it.
Ryan Pace going on by Cam Barnes for position, right? This is no, Barnes is 2 laps down actually right now. Remember those spins earlier on in the race. Not the night, again, just not the night. We talked about it in the open. Barnes and the 12 team just really needed to have a good solid night. And Ricky, they kind of threw it all away early on in this race. He's getting loose there. I think it's a case of, driver and team having to rezone themselves in. I think they've kind of lost their way as the regular season waned out. And now starting off with a rough one here at Iowa, that's got to kind of hurt the soul, to start this chase.
It's probably going to hurt a little bit, but on the bright side, you don't really know how a lot of these guys are going on this pitch
And there goes
shuffle.
the 12. He's around.
Oh, spoke too soon, and
that's gonna
see what they end up saying.
I don't think this one. I believe this one won't be a caution because it's a single car spin. He's just probably looking for a place to get in line. There he goes.
There he goes. I'm thinking. I gotta think that everyone.
Yeah.
You gotta think everyone in there in that call's got to be like, don't throw the yellow. Don't throw the yellow.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna be a little bit. I think they're going to be a little bit more hesitant about throwing it as this chase goes on, just on the grounds of that these guys are in, especially a night like this where there's so much of a fuel mileage race going on, that you kind of don't want to turn the race on its head, but it would be good TV.
Well, speaking of good TV, you know what's some really good, fast, easy content?
What, Joe?
Oh, it's JTN2. Go check out JTN2 now. We got like highlight moment breakdowns from not only our broadcast but the NASCAR Cup Series. There's some YouTube shorts. You can also check out our TikTok for those. Again, head on over to JTN2 now. Got some new content, new live real racing content, not sim racing content over there on JTN2. A couple breakdown videos, like I said, that are a lot of fun to do as we're watching. Here comes the 14 of Jeff Dixon.
14 Jeff Dixon coming on by Ryan Pace as we're talking. Tommy Wardo and Mikey Murata down on pit road. So we see some of those early takers tagging in for 4 tires and fuel here. 11 Antonio Ruiz also coming down pit road. It's lap 96. So this is going to get Darren Ingram down on pit road. We talked about him being one of the earlier guys.
Two stopping
Davey
it.
Hazard and Huang Do's. Yeah, Davey Hazard and Huang Do have been saving this entire time. Joe, I don't think they're going to come back in.
I don't think they're going to
I
come.
don't think they want to come back in.
Unless there's a caution, right? That's the only way you come back down the pit lane.
Even if there is a caution, it kind of plays into their hand to stay out, because if there's a caution, then they put a bunch of guys a lap down.
Right, but at least one of them is going to get the wave around, come down pit lane for sure. You know what I mean? So and we got the choose rule.
That is true. True.
Is that a third bot of the night?
Yeah, we're
popular.
We're on a hot streak. Yeah.
We're popular tonight. Haven't seen that thing in a while. Folks, can't thank you enough as always for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys being active in chat tonight. Make sure you tell us, who do you think is going to win this race? You know, it's probably, there's a lot of folks tuning in for this driver, 01 in the Aris Toyota Huang Do. I know there's some Davey Hazard fans out there as well. Tyler Mallon. There's probably fans for every driver out there. Who do you think is going to win tonight? Put it in the chat now. Make sure if you haven't already to drop a like on the video and subscribe. Subscribing does so much to help support us, and we appreciate it. To the moon and back. Also, you can be a friend, tell a friend about our streams here on JTN. That's always we're very thankful when we see those links getting shared by folks, because it helps let us know we're doing a good job and we're giving you enjoyable content, as well as, you know, helping us grow our fan base and show more people our great content. So we appreciate that. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. And again, make sure if you haven't already, hit that like button.
Joe 7 Calaval, he was in 4th, came down pit road here. 13 Austin Spencer are also down, so a lot of these guys that we talked about stopping it coming down now. What's insane is how much some of these guys have jumped in position. We're talking about Ryan Pace needing to get going here. Ryan's down in the 6th spot just because of the way all of this is shuffled out, and there's a bunch of guys that still need to come down pit road in front of them.
Yeah, so Tyler Mallon right now is clutching. I would believe that this 80 car is going to be really close. I think the 01 and the 70, because he pit 5.
You gotta wonder if he's just waiting on a caution too. Maybe he's riding around out here because he knows how bad those tires are gonna wear in here, and that if these guys get a little too unwieldy out there, that someone could spin and it could bring out a yellow.
Yeah, keep it, like you said, keep a bunch of drivers a lap down, keep them behind you so you can come down the pit lane even. Tricky.
We'll see.
It's a tricky finish to this one.
Right now, though, as Tyler Mallon leads, you see that he just walked up there big time in turn 2. Tommy Bordeaux got a leapfrog to the inside. Tommy's come down for tires already, so we already knew that story.
If I'm Tyler, I'm coming down.
Right behind him.
I got the fastest car. Come down the pit lane. I try to race them heads up. I don't need to be losing time right now to these other drivers. We saw all the time lost to the 7, who was a pretty far distance back from the 80 when those first stops happened, and right now, I don't know, this might be committed to the wrong strategy. I'll probably be proven wrong, but for the A team, yeah, there might be too much time. I think our good colleague Joseph Weir has a very good point there in chat. Might just be too much time for these drivers that are going to stay out left in this race. Because right now,
yeah, I was thinking that too, Joe. If Mallon comes down, I think that's why he's saving. I think this is kind of a go for broke. He's not on points, so if they can't make it on fuel, try to ride this out until there's a yellow, because if they come down at this point, that's basically game set for them.
So right now, Cal is the first car on the newer tires. Passing the 01 now with 19 laps to go. So, you know, we've been talking about a second a lap for the first 5 laps. Half a second for probably 10 laps. It's going to be close. It's going to be close.
80's getting very aggressive with that fuel saving.
And that could cost you too.
Joe and Davey Hazard. right behind him, though, have been just saving fuel for the entire run. I don't think there was ever a point where they weren't clutching it around this place.
Are we going to get 2 fuel mileage races in a row?
I love it.
I love it, too. I mean, it's confusing because we don't have like a statistician up here in the booth or whatnot to help us keep track, but I mean, right now it's pretty interesting, right? It's fun.
Yeah, 3-man booth.
Yeah, I don't know if we need it for that. I got a little.
Yeah,
This Iowa booth is a little full, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're supposed to be the crew chief, Ricky. You know, you got the engineering degree and stuff.
Oh, you got engineering.
I don't have the degree yet.
Okay, fine. I'll be the crew chief here. Yeah, I mean, Tyler Mallon, I think Mallon, we'll have to see, but in terms of run, you said it. Mallon was, what, 4 or 5 laps before Davey Hazard and Juan Doe came down?
And you can see that 01 and 75 getting bigger and bigger in the back of the, back of your screen. They're down the back straightaway. They're starting to pop into that picture because Mallon's had to save so much more fuel here at the end of the run.
Yeah, I think Mallon is just going for broke right now, trying to see if he can get this to work, but you can just see that, you can visibly see that Huang Do is really starting to carve into his lead. Davey Hazard is as well, and they're also saving. So we'll see what happens here. Coming around for lap 112 or 125 at tonight's event. That's about 14 laps to go there, Joe?
There you go.
Tyler
That's some good
Mallon's
math.
still leading, but is this a strategy play, or can he make it on fuel? Is this a bluff, or is this a true blue event? In second, Huang Do, Davey Hazard in third. Both these Toyotas here, right within spitting distance of each other, just trying to make it to the end here, making it on one stop.
I mean, there you see the 80 going to be to the right of your screen. There's Huang Do, Davey Hazard right behind. I mean, they're within. They can see him. They can see him.
Hey Joe, you want to know who the 4th place car is?
Is it Ryan Pace?
Garrett Sidner's 16 seconds behind the 80 of Tyler Mallon. They are. The 4th place car is a half a track behind these guys, so this is really going to come down. I think, just on an educated guess, that this is really going to come down between the 80, the 01, the 75, unless they all run out of gas here. So stay tuned, because this is about to get wild here on JTN.
7 car of Cal Lovell is getting really close to passing the 5th place car, the 15 of Ryan Pace. That'll be for position. Ryan exiting turn number 4 right now. There's the 7. So Pace about half a straightaway ahead for position. I believe, is Jeff Dixon also still out there?
Jeff Dixon is still out there, I think. Look at the chat, Weaver. Look at you talking about. Oh, we don't need a statistician. We don't need a statistician. Well, here comes Joseph Weaver with a pit. Yeah, with a pit road report here. Huang Do and the 01 car reporting they're still short. So we'll see what happens here. Davey Hazard had that extra lap, and we'll see if Davey can make it to the end of this. We were talking about it, that Davey, it's almost an even split what he's doing. And Joe, we're at TWB 10 to go, aren't we?
Is it 116 to 125? I believe it is.
Yes,
it's time for our TWB 10 to go. Folks, head on over to GardenLightsDirect.com, because from porches to patios and more, for all those outdoor lighting needs, they have you covered. Again, head on over to GardenLightsDirect.com. Spruce up that deck, porch, gazebo, whatever you got, with some beautiful outdoor lights here this summer.
More like a TWB 9.5 to go.
Well, Ricky, be quiet.
Oh, Henrietta Bordeaux was around in the back straightaway down on the apron, though. We stayed green, single car spin, it looks like. So good job by everyone to stay clear of that. This is going to be an interesting game, though. Who's going to have enough fuel to make it? Yeah, this is really one of those. Some people were like, oh, I don't like strategy races. I don't like fuel mileage races. Just to watching them. This is so much fun watching this strategy. I don't know if Tyler Mallon can make it. I don't know if he's got anything saved in his hat here. Everything again in me says that he can't, but you never know. Huang Do here knows that he's short, apparently. Davey Hazard a lap ahead of him. Is he short? Davey putting the pressure on Huang Do here. Looks like Davey knows that he can put a little more pressure on this 01 car as he's looking to the inside.
Remember, Davey Hazard is your points leader coming into tonight by 12 points. And right now only has one other chase driver ahead of him as he makes the pass on the 01 down here in 3 and 4. So now no chase drivers ahead of the 75.
Yeah, and you know, Huang Do, it's like he can't fight that because he knows that he has to be saving fuel. He has to hope that Davey Hazard's trying to bluff here and make it seem like he's faster than he actually is. because the only other solution is to race him here and run out his gas. So, very interesting play here. Tyler Mallon having to come down to pit road. Tyler Mallon pretty much done on fuel cycle, so the 80 coming down. It's a very late race development here. Davey Hazard coming across the line for 5 laps to go here at Iowa. Can he hold out?
Does he have enough fuel in the tank? Last week at Michigan, was able to do it for the first time in his career, looking to do it for the second time for a second week in a row. One of the last skills that the driver of the 75 has had to master here to put together a championship caliber season, going for win number 5 tonight. Meanwhile, you got second place, you got Huang Do in that 0-1. Has had a fantastic year, finished second in those regular season points, but still looking for win number 1 on the year. 3.5 laps to go, 3 at the line, Ricky. It's a lot of stories up here at the front of the field.
A lot of stories indeed, and keep an eye out. 16 seconds back, Garrett Sidner in that 16 car came later than both these guys, didn't he, Joe?
He did.
So if Hazard can't make it, we'll see what happens with Garrett Sidner there in that 16 car. But I think Garrett's on the horn there, like, come on, run out.
Yeah, and the
Huang
driver...
Do looks like he's out of gas in turn number 3, Joe.
Huang Do, no power to that 0-1 car. Gonna have to.
Or is he saving?
He's saving.
He's out of gas. He's out of gas, Joe.
Is he? Is he actually? 2 to go.
Yeah, 2 laps to go here.
Now, if you're Davey,
I think it's sputtering.
Now, if you're Davey, you got to give up 16 seconds, right? There's a car around on the back. It's Cam Barnes. We stay green.
Stay green.
Coming this time off of turn number 4. We'll see it. It's the white flag going to be in the air for Davey Hazard here in Iowa.
Davey Hazard just trying to see if he can make it to the end here. Joe, the motor cut out in the 75 car. Davey Hazard's out of gas. Oh, wait, no, he still got fuel in it. I think he still got fuel in it. I think it's sputtering out.
Oh, he's
I just heard that motor cut out. Okay, no, he got a second wind here. He's got a second wind. He's going to bring it home.
Coming off of turn number 4 for the second week in a row. It's going to be Davey Hazard taking home the victory here in Iowa on fuel mileage. God bless it, Ricky.
Oh man, well I hope everyone was paying attention. I'm sure that opens up some eyes. Garrett Sidner just ekes out 3rd spot from the 7 of Calaval. Great job of that 16 team to use that fuel strategy. You got a fantastic finish here tonight. 14 of Jeff Dixon rallied back great there with that fuel play, and Ryan Pace takes a 6th spot.
That was a fantastic race here from Iowa.
You know, Joe, I think that 75 might have been bamboozling us a little bit. I think he had more fuel than he was leading on.
That was a masterclass in fuel strategy. We talked about Davey and PTR adding Ryan Pace in the off season. I think we've seen why they had some confidence in that 15 driver to help improve the program, help improve the fuel mileage. But for Davey Hazard, again, we talked with him last week, and he even said it. Most, when he had the best feeling about, the most excited he was to win a race, maybe next to that FTF Daytona 500 or whatever they call it. So Hazard, with the second fuel mileage victory in a row here tonight, we'll get those results on your screen momentarily. Driver and team have to feel really, really, really good.
Yeah, they're going to feel fantastic after that. We talked about Davey does not like fuel mileage races. 2 weeks in a row, he wins a fuel mileage race, so how about that?
It's funny. You say you hate something enough, and eventually you get pretty good at it.
That was a wild finish. In my defense on that finish, Joe, I think that's 75, and I'm sure he'll attest to this.
He was clutching. He was clutching.
He clutched it egregiously early. Egregiously early when he came through the tri-oval that time. I was certain that he ran out of gas because it sounded like exactly what happens when he cut out. He clutched it right when he hit the line there for that 1 lap to go.
So we're going to get these results on your screens. We're going to talk with our top 3 finishers, Davey Hazard, Huang Do, and Garrett Sidner. Sidner barely beating the 7 of Cal Laval for that final podium position. Folks, as always, can't thank you enough for tuning in to JTN tonight. Make sure if you haven't already, please, oh please, drop a like on the video and subscribe. It does so much to help support us here on JTN, and we can't thank you enough, as always, for all that support that you've given us. Ricky, who do you want to dial up first? You pick. You can bring him in here too. You pick.
I gotta bring him in here. Okay.
You should be able to.
Let's do our winner while the adrenaline's rolling.
Okay, you bring him in.
How do I do that? Oh, move to. All right, here we go. Whee!
All right, Ricky's not going to introduce you. Bringing him in, he's the winner of tonight's race for the second week in a row. Driver number 75 with Martini colors this week, Mr. Davey Hazard. Davey, you said last week that was like the second most pumped you've ever been to win a race. Now, is the feeling the same way this week?
No, this one was. I was a little more comfortable this time because all the people I was pitting around with, I knew that they couldn't make it. All the people that were around me on track, I knew they couldn't make it. If they were to be able to make it, I was gonna probably, I don't know, I'd probably call them a cheater. But there's just no way they're gonna make it. But I'm pretty pumped. I feel like if maybe I waited another year before I won another fuel mileage race, I'd be pumped. But since it happened 2 weeks in a row, I'm kind of more just confused as to how I got here. But yeah.
Well, it was a struggle in opening practice here tonight for a lot of guys, and we heard in the garage area that it seemed like no one had a real handle on the setup. How did you kind of improve that car throughout practice? And then, obviously, through the race, it felt like you got a little bit better each run.
Well, Ryan and I, my PTR teammate, Ryan Pace, he pulled an old setup out from the Team Tawanski days. I'm sure you know about that, Joe. But we pulled probably a really old setup out. I don't know how old that setup was, but I mean, we were grasping at things because the first few setups that we tried were all just crappy. They're like 5 years old. Just all of them were just not going to work. And that one took minimal effort to get it kind of changed around. I worked with Ryan a little bit on how he can drive the car a little better. I don't know where he ended up. I saw he was up near the top 5 near the end, but I don't know where he ended up. Sixth? Okay, yep. That's good. Hell yeah. He was really struggling in practice, so I'm really happy for him. But yeah, it was just a collaborative effort with me and with Ryan and I. And then through the race, I thought maybe I wanted to make some changes. I had a right rear track bar adjustment ready. I was thinking about maybe changing the wedge, but when it came down to it, I was pretty comfortable with where my car was running before I realized it was going to be fuel mileage. And then right before the second to last pit stop, I kind of realized it was going to be fuel mileage. So I stretched it out on that one, and I was able to kind of like minimally save until the end of the race off of that move. So I wasn't really too worried about the handling. I was more so just worried about fuel during the race. But during practices, it was a good team effort to get a good setup under us, and it paid off.
Well, it paid off with the victory, and we obviously talked about in our show open, you came into tonight with the points lead. I know that's not what the motto that's not what the document in the 75 hauler said, but a good start to the chase, that's got to go a long way, doesn't it?
It does. And for anyone curious, the document in the 75 hauler is just count us out. I don't want to go in here, I don't want to be the Pied Piper. I just want to keep running like this, have this momentum. I don't want to think about points. I just want to keep doing what we're doing, being consistent. But yeah, a win is fantastic to start the chase off. I called my shot at the end of last season. We're going to win the regular season championship, and then we're going to win the postseason championship. And we're making every correct move to do those things, but I'm not worried about it yet. So,
well, he's not worried about it just yet. He was worried about the fuel. Ended up being a no issue. Davey, words are hard. Anyways, Davey, before we let you go, floor is yours. You know what to do, buddy.
As always, PTR teammates, Ryan and Steven and Austin, all those guys, everyone that makes racing fun, as I always say. You guys are putting on a good broadcast. I'm sure I'll go back and watch some of the fun moments. The realization that it's going to be fuel mileage and that I might win again. Hopefully that conversation happened, because it happened in my head. I was like, there's no way I'm going to do this again. The USORL admins for actually giving us, I don't know if it was talked about a lot, but this track was a blast. It's a hard track to drive, and Ryan didn't like it when we were talking about it, but it is a fun track to drive. It's a fun track to race on. And putting up a race every weekend and giving me something to do with my hobby. Anyone that I know that is watching, I don't know who all is. I know a couple people, but yeah, hello, hi, thank you. You guys are the best. Thank you for supporting
Shout out your
playing
mom.
a video game forever. Shout out to Mi Madre.
There you go.
They know who they are. They know who it is. And all my friends, the lads, the boys, Tommy Weaver, Joey, Michael. You know the crew. You know the guys. It's the same spiel every time, but they deserve to be thanked every time.
I'll
too,
just
so
I'll
it's all
just
good.
record it. I'll just go
You
back,
just
record it, and just play
honestly,
it.
we were talking about post race interviews earlier before the broadcast, Joe, and I thought I'm not gonna do this idea now, but I wanted no, because I wanted to set up like a soundboard and just only reply in soundboard replies, but that's too hard. I'm not smart enough, so I'm not gonna do that.
Hey, fair enough. And if you want to hear more from Davey Hazard, check out Fake Racers podcast later this week over on JTN2. Davey, congratulations. Most wins on the year so far with 5. Congratulations on that. 2 wins in a row. And well, good luck here as we continue to march on towards the season finale in Homestead.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Davey Hazard, driver of the number 75, your race winner here tonight. Let's go ahead and next bring in, so we're working our way downtown, right? Ricky, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we're going downtown.
All right, working our way downtown, walking fast. He's your second place finisher tonight. Driver of the 01, Mr. Huang Do. Give it up, everybody, for driver 01. Woo! You got a copy there, bud?
Hello.
Did you love that intro? I feel like you probably love like attention and people yelling and screaming your name, big signs, wearing t-shirts with your face on it, right? Like, am I getting that right, Huang?
I don't know. Somebody's talking crazy about me.
Well, let's talk about what a crazy race this was here tonight. Finish to this one. We knew it was coming down to fuel mileage. You had to save very, very hard there at the end. What do you think you needed to do different? Was it just trying to save earlier on in the run?
Definitely. I saw Davey, like, he started saving right before our first stops, so I was like, oh man, I should have been doing that, but I just went for it. So, and then yeah, just gotta wish I stayed out a few laps because of that, and maybe coast to a victory.
What we heard from a lot of drivers that tonight was a weird night, it was a good night, it was a bad night. A lot of mixed opinions about Iowa. What were your thoughts on the race, the track, setups? Like, what's your biggest takeaway? Because this is definitely one of the harder tracks on the schedule.
I love it. This is my type of racetracks, especially Iowa, North Wilkesboro, Richmond. Just these certain types of tracks is just my thing. I don't know why, but they just are. Setup felt great. Man, I could drive that thing maybe 500 miles if I could, but yeah, I didn't really have a problem with that race. Just just people making mistakes here or there, or just stuck behind other people. Maybe costing myself a little bit of time. So yeah, not bad.
Well, it was a great run here tonight for you in this 01 team. Huang, congratulations on the second place run. Before we let you go, though, floor is yours. Anyone you want to shout out or thank?
No thanks.
Oh, man. Really?
Yeah.
No one?
Nope.
Not your team?
Who?
Huang, congratulations. And thank you so much for talking with us. You're the best, dude. You're the best.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Huang Do, everybody, go check him out over here on YouTube. You know where to go. Let's go ahead and finally bring in our final podium finisher. He's the driver of the number 16 Folds of Honor Toyota here tonight, Mr. Garrett Sidner. Garrett, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
That sounds a little labored. Is everything okay over there? Are you kind of hanging out of the seat there at the end of the race trying to hold off that 7?
I was a bit of a cowbush in the race car today. I was complaining about literally everything with the car. I was not happy. As many races of I love Iowa as a track. I've won there twice, but we were just off tonight. We just couldn't get a power down off of exit, and I was kind of flabbergasted that we came home third. But it's how these races go sometimes. So that is that.
Well, a third place finish especially can't be anything to, stick your nose up at, right? Because Iowa is such a tough track. Obviously, you're one of your big partners in Crunchyroll sponsoring the race. I know they're very invested here in the USORL, or maybe the USORL is very invested in them. I don't know which way that street goes particularly, but it's got to feel good, though, kind of starting off the chase with a really good run here tonight, right? I'm not mistaken in that.
Oh no, absolutely. That's especially with this format, and you have to be in it every week.
Mhm.
You can't put yourself in a position to lose points, and especially with how phenomenal Davey did in the regular season. You got to keep close every race. And he's even like the night where he went out and won anyway. You just got to be prepared for, and you have tracks like Talladega later in the playoffs where something could happen. So yeah, good night. Always important. Glad we were able to do that.
Well, a good night tonight. You now sit fourth in the points, 25 back from Davey, obviously. How does this chase look for you in this 16 team? Because it's been different from last year, right? I think last year was really frustrating, right? We talked about taking so long to get that first victory, I don't even care. It was so long ago. But taking a long time to get to victory lane last year, right? And then coming into this year.
So here's the easy way to remember when I've won. So in every even numbered season, I've won 2 races. Every odd number season, I've went winless.
So going winless last year, and
there you go.
now winning two this year.
Yeah.
How does that kind of work? Because and this isn't but it feels like finish-wise, this 16 team, something's been a little off this year compared to last. But obviously, those W's in that column, they feel really good too. Do they make up for it? Would you rather have more runs like tonight, where you're finishing third, second, up there on the podium? Like how do you play that balance as a driver, as a team?
Yeah, I mean, part of me wishes that the 2 seasons performances from last season, this season, kind of swapped because they played into the different formats. But yeah, I mean, I love to win races. It's part of it. And sometimes there's going to be times of self-doubt when you get later into this postseason playoffs, whatever name we like to call it. And I mean, only one guy's going to win the championship, but there's a chance every race for you to win. So I definitely want to be up front competing for wins, being competitive, even if it means like Richmond, where you run up front all night and get wrecked out at the white flag. But I mean, yeah, I love nights like tonight as well, where I kind of, even though I'm backed against a wall, you can look and kind of survey like what can we do to like improve ourselves from that position, and we were really able to do that because I think we had like an 11th place car pretty much all night, and we found a way to put it in 3rd place on the podium. So yeah, it's just a race by race basis, but we got some good tracks coming up, and hopeful to capitalize on it.
Well, this is a team that can capitalize on it, Garrett. Congratulations on the 3rd place run here tonight. Before we let you go, though, floor is yours. Family, friends, you know what to do.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank Folds of Honor for coming on the car for this race. They've been a big deal in my life and on this race car, obviously. Crunchyroll for sponsoring the race and my car all season long. Games 1, 2, 3 Racing, and Ray Tussin, all the other boys at the shop. And that'll do it.
Garrett, congratulations on the podium here. We're going to be watching the 16 team here in the playoffs. Again, 4th in points, 25 back. Some work to do, but I think you and team are probably up to the task. Congratulations on the 3rd place run, and good luck next week.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Garrett Sidner, driver of the number 16 Folds of Honor Toyota, your 3rd place finisher here tonight. Points are on your screen. They've been on your screen for a couple minutes now, folks. But Ricky, send us home. What's the big send-off for this one?
The something strategy.
Okay. Why so?
That's all I got. Because man, Joe, you got me right on the spot. It is past midnight. My brain is spaghetti noodles right now. But it was a wild piece of pit strategy there that we saw. That Davey Hazard, Huang Do made it to the end of the race on that. Garrett Sidner as well. that we did not expect at the top of the night. So just unpredictable, I guess is the best way I would describe it.
Well, an unpredictable race and a lot of unpredictable events coming at you here on JTN, folks. The next time we're live is going to be tomorrow night, Monday's a Thunder Truck Series. You can catch the USORL playoffs here on JTN, and also next week and for a couple weeks over with our friends at Fast 29. Go check them out. We'll post the link when we'll retweet it on our Twitter. So you want to make sure if you want to keep up to date with the USORL chase between those races that we're broadcasting, you want to head on over to Fast 29. Again, we got their video for their Chase Hype package here at the top of the live stream chat. Go check that video out because, again, Chris and Dan did an absolute fantastic job laying out how this chase grid is, the favorites, the dark horses, and the guys that, well, they're going to need a lot to get themselves to hoist that big trophy in Homestead, but all these drivers, all 14 of them, probably up to the task. With that being said, though, again, we're live tomorrow night. Don't miss out on that one. Make sure if you haven't already, click that like button and subscribe. It does so much to help support us here on JTN. And, well, that's about it, folks. Late night, USORL, Iowa, always puts on a good show. Always has, always will. Can't thank you folks enough for tuning in here tonight. For all of us at JTN, Bristol, our producer, Ricky Collette, I've been Joe Twansky. Thank you, and so long here from Iowa. We'll see you guys next time. Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checker. Never mind, they're going to be... Oh! What a turn 4 into the trial. Whitehill and through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull Cup Series.
Off the line and a wreck behind him. The cars flying everywhere. The cars upside down. It doesn't matter. Noah Joyce has done it. He's won at Daytona in the 3 car.
Behind, they're going to be side by side again. Contact there between Sinner and Bordeaux for
Oh, the contact! Oakley into the wall. That's going to be Jack Healy coming to